Hello, I'm Dan Rather, and welcome to the CBS Evening News Online Edition. Just ahead, the flu vaccine debacle. Both presidential candidates scramble trying to turn the issue to their advantage. Also, scraping by. A look at why many military families are now forced to accept charity. And Capitol Hill's latest handiwork. We'll give you a look at a huge corporate tax giveaway that you're paying for. It's all starting now on the CBS Evening News Online Edition. In this country, the presidential candidates caught a new political bug as they stumped in swing states today. CBS's Jim Acosta reports on President Bush, Senator Kerry, and growing public outrage over the shortage of flu shots.
With flu shot frustration spreading across the country, President Bush tried to inject some calm today.
I want to assure them that our government is doing everything possible to help older Americans and children get their shots.
Later, his Health and Human Services Secretary announced a vaccine maker will provide another 2.6 million doses, but not nearly enough to meet the nation's shortage of almost 50 million flu shots. Critics say the administration was warned of the potential for a crisis 3 years ago, but the secretary says the problem began during the Clinton years.
No president or administration has invested more in the flu than this one. The fact is that the flu vaccine marketplace has been withering for years, through most of the 1990s.
The issue's given John Kerry's campaign a shot in the arm.
We learned that a town in New Jersey is being forced to use a lottery system to decide who's going to get a flu shot. So now George Bush is telling us you got to get lucky to get health care.
The needling started after Mr. Bush offered his remedy for the shortfall during the last debate.
We're working with Canada to hopefully that they'll help us realize the vaccine necessary to make sure our citizens have got flu vaccinations during this upcoming season.
A George Bush mess.
The next day, a new Kerry ad was born.
Now Bush wants Canada to help, even though his own policies make it illegal for us to import medicine from Canada.
2.8 people an hour.
But deep in those long lines is a debate over whether the president is responsible.
Not really. I don't think they can be accountable for the fact that a company had contaminated supplies.
And yes, I think the Bush administration, of course, is responsible for this. Absolutely.
Both sides say they have a plan for the future, but it's doubtful either candidate can do much to prevent what emergency room doctors fear could be a public health disaster this winter. Jim Acosta, CBS News, New York.
Stock prices are of little concern to many underpaid American military families, especially those with fathers or mothers serving in Iraq. For more and more of them, financial worries are much more basic, like the high cost of putting food on the table. CBS's Bill Whitaker has the inside story.
At a recent march for military families, it seems everybody in Lacey, Washington turned out to support the troops at nearby Fort Lewis and McChord Air Force Base, morally and financially.
$20. It's not much, but I know every little bit counts.
They raised $15,000 for military families in need.
Thank you.
They're out there in Iraq, and money's tight for those families.
At the Miramar Marine Air Station near San Diego, where the movie Top Gun was filmed, some families are hitting rock bottom.
It's not payday yet. Got 3 kids at home, and it's time to feed them. Navy doesn't pay enough for what we have to live here in San Diego.
So some 500 military families a month come to the food locker on base for free groceries, donated by stores, the military, even the Boy Scouts.
Without us, a lot of these families wouldn't make it.
You need it?
Yeah, actually we do. We do. That's the sad part about it.
You hear the same thing from families in every branch of the military. Why? Because enlisted men and women can earn as little as $1,104 a month. And with the National Guard serving longer tours, their families are going longer without civilian salaries. Even with housing and medical benefits, many military families, especially in expensive cities, are losing the battle to make ends meet.
We're considered below poverty line. So if poverty's here, we're below it.
Still, most are good soldiers, as proud to serve as their spouses. Shal Marie Ryan's husband is in Iraq.
No, we're not going to complain about it. It's our life. That's what we married.
But at the food locker, volunteers see more and more service families struggling in silence.
We have young men and women laying down their lives day after day after day. They're not making enough. It's not fair. It's not right.
Many sacrifice in time of war, some more than others. Bill Whitaker, CBS News, San Diego.
Well, here's how it started. The World Trade Organization ruled export subsidies the U.S. government was giving American corporations were legal. All right, said Congress, we'll cancel the subsidies and replace them with tax breaks. Suddenly, industry after industry and special interest after special interest wanted in. And as CBS's Bob Orr reports, pork barrel hell broke loose.
In the race for big tax breaks, count dog and horse track owners among the winners. $27 million to encourage more betting. Farmers will find $27 million more at the public trough in compensation for livestock lost to bad weather. And $101 million for NASCAR track owners who will get speedier write-offs for their grandstands. Just some of the spoils in the first overhaul of corporate taxes in 20 years. Cataloged by the shoestring watchdog organization, Taxpayers for Common Sense.
If you have a lobbyist with a pulse in Washington, you got a lot in this bill.
The bill began as a tiny tweak of tax policy to protect some U.S. exports from foreign tariffs. But this is what Congress produced, nearly $140 billion in special interest giveaways.
Grande caramel macchiato.
Coffee roasters get a break, as do cruise ships, filmmakers, and manufacturers of bows and arrows used by kids. Woo! Sponsors argue the bill pays for itself by closing other tax loopholes, but concede it's loaded with pork.
Well, that's true, but that's how the Senate works.
And not only the Senate. Makers of tackle boxes, including a company in House Speaker Dennis Hastert's district, are getting $11 million in tax breaks.
It was a must-pass bill. They knew it, and all the special interests knew it, and they took advantage of it, and they ripped us off.
So there are billions for shipbuilders, railroads, and aircraft companies. And buried on page 598, a special prize for PGA golfers. Tax breaks on millions in deferred compensation. Bob, CBS News, Washington.
More stories are just a click away. But don't forget to join me on television for the on-air edition of the CBS Evening News. For CBSNews.com, I'm Dan Rather.